Oh, all right, I finished. It's over. It was incredibly tough, and I can say we went up rat jaw twice, and that was miserable. So obviously I've got my shirt on. This is the race shirt. It says double your pleasure, double your fun. And then two rats in one. It's because we had to do rat jaw twice. That's right, 2 times up rat jaw. Estimates, looking at maps, terrain features, rat jaw is anywhere from, most people say anywhere from 1,600 to 2,000 feet of elevation gain, and right around a mile. It's insane. It's straight up to 60-70% inclines at times, and it's all through saw briars that are massive. I've got some pictures I'll put up, and I'll show you guys, my legs completely destroyed, my arms just, you can see probably right here how shredded my arms are right now. And well, you can't see my leg. Oh shoot, hold on, I gotta get this. So this is my legs. So yeah, legs, arms, even my back, my shoulders are just shredded because we were crawling through a lot of it. It was just brutal. So anyway, back up to the start of the race. Night before, didn't sleep very good. I got maybe 4-ish hours of sleep. Had to be up at 4 a.m. my time in order to make it over to the park. I had to be there at 6:15 Eastern time, so it was an hour ahead. So I had to get there, get my bib, my map. It's the first time I got to see the course, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. When I saw that, it was crazy seeing I had to do rat jaw twice. Started the race, started at 7 a.m. for me. I was in wave 1. We started out kind of on the normal course. I can't be too specific about the route because that's Barkley stuff. You don't give away the whole course. So we started out, on what kind of is the normal-ish route for Barkley Fall CLassic. I was going down a pretty decent descent, pretty steep on some regular trails, and caught a root or something. I don't know what happened, but I supermaned it. Just went straight out, hit my hand really good. It's pretty darn bruised up. I don't know if that'll show, but that's gonna hurt. It hurts now, but so did that, supermaned it, slipped out one more time on a switchback where the shoe just went out because it was so dry as it hadn't rained in so long. Somewhere on one of the trails early in the race, I started feeling some blister issues on my heels, on the backs of my feet. I could tell the Speedgoat, I wore the Speedgoat 3s, the Hoka Speedgoat 3s, and they just were not sitting well on my heels. I haven't worn those at Frozen Head in a long time. I chose those over the Torrents because they have a more aggressive tread pattern, a little bit deeper lug, and I wanted some more traction. Those things were just tore at my heels, and it was pretty painful for a while until eventually the blisters popped and the skin shredded, and then I didn't really feel them, and plus I was feeling so much other pain at that point it didn't really matter. So we made it out to the garden spot, went up to the Tub Springs area, and then we went down over to Testicle Spectacle, one of the famous Barkley areas. We went all the way down and then to an aid station, but we actually got down to the bottom of Testicle, and there's a sign pointing you into the woods, and everything that Laz always says, stay out of the woods, always stay under the power line cut. So we thought it was just telling us to stay to the left of the power line cut, and we continued on for about another probably quarter mile, maybe 3/10 of a mile before we started looking at our maps and like, this just doesn't seem right. So we doubled back a little bit, found a little cutoff, went down and came out below the bib punch area and the water drop. So we actually had to go up the road for like a 1/10 of a mile, and then we got our water, our bib punched, then went back into the woods. So back up Testicle Spectacle all the way, through some briars and very steep terrain, and then went down Meth Lab Hill, which Meth Lab is worse than Testicle in my opinion. It's all downhill. It's pretty steep. It's really, really, really loose rocks that it just slides out from under you. There's a couple of sections where you just literally sit down almost on your feet, just slide down for 20-ish feet. It's just so dry and nasty. Then you get to the bottom and go through some woods a little bit into a neighborhood. And then we go over to the prison where we had a little detour. Normally we kind of go through the Brushy Mountain prison or around the side of it and over the back wall and then under the tunnel. Didn't do that this year because of the coronavirus stuff, so instead they had us go around the outside of the prison to the right. They had cut in a little path for us to get to Rat Jaw. So we took that, went up Rat Jaw, the first time, and when I got to Rat Jaw, I was the fourth person to get to Rat Jaw. The leader was up a little ways, and he was a little bit of a shorter guy, so he kind of crawled through most of it. But the three of us, the second, third, and fourth place, we were there, and we had to pretty much clear most of Rat Jaw. And it was brutal. That's why I'm so shredded. And Rat Jaw, normally takes about an hour, but this first ascent took 2 hours because of clearing all the briars out of the way. And as we got closer to the top, more and more people started catching up to us. And we had so many people. It was like a Congo line of probably 45 runners that were in total of small space in this little narrow cut of briars that we had made, and we were just all taking turns breaking briars and cutting the trail and getting up there, and finally busted through the top. Went up to the fire tower, got the bib punch, and then we had to go back down to the Tub Springs area, go back down Arms Gap to a little cutoff. Took a new trail it's new to the Barkley Fall CLassic, but they have used it in older Barkley Marathons. It hasn't been used in a long time. It's an off-trail section. So we took that down to get back to the prison where we started to go up Rat Jaw. Had to check in there again, and then went back up Rat Jaw. And the second time went much better, surprisingly. I figured I was going to be hurting a lot more, but the second time I was able to do Rat Jaw in 55-ish minutes, which is my best ascent up there, so it went pretty well. I did get stung by a yellow jacket on the way up. There were several spots where people were getting stung, and luckily the first time didn't have any issues, but the second time going up I got stung below the knee, and we were probably 15 minutes from the top of Rat Jaw. So I was a little concerned because, last time I had been stung by a yellow jacket, I was, 7-ish years old, and I was allergic. I had a huge reaction. So I always carry an EpiPen. But nothing had happened by the time we finally got to at the top of Rat Jaw. We went up to the fire tower, and there were medics up there, so I asked them to check me out. They took my pulse ox and just kind of asked me some questions, and basically said that, since it had been about 15 minutes and it hadn't swollen, I didn't have any really issues then at that point, that I was probably okay. Just continued on, and from there it was just finishing out, going down Chimney Top Trail, and it's got some really steep parts we had to descend, which was kind of brutal on the legs at that point. And then when we got back down to the road, it was, I was surprised I had something left for the road, and I was able to run it all the way out to the finish. Finished in 10 hours and 17 minutes. I think it was 30th place overall, around there. So I'm super happy. My goal was to do it in under 11 hours, because last year I did it in 11 hours and 18 minutes. This year I did it in 10 hours and 17 minutes, so I'm super happy with that. Could have done better, had Rat Jaw not taken so long the first time, but that's the race, that's what happens. So honestly, I was just happy to finish. When I was coming back up Testicle Spectacle, I was starting to cramp up really bad on my inner quad muscles, and I was concerned, honestly. I was having some serious doubts about whether or not I could do 2 Rat Jaws. I knew the first one was going to be tough. I was starting to take salt pills. I was taking salt pills and doing a direct shot, which if you don't know what that is, it's take the salt pill and you open it up and then just pour the salt directly under your tongue and let it sit there for a little while before you swallow it. Kind of helps it get into your system a little bit quicker. But what really worked out well was that first trip up Rat Jaw. Since we were clearing and it took so long, it kind of allowed our legs to recover, because whoever was in the lead was doing most of the work, breaking the trail, and then the two of us were kind of like, we were there and pushing things to the side, but it wasn't that hard. And then we'd take turns and swap out. But it really allowed our legs to kind of recover a little bit, which really helped me be able to finish the race. So it worked out well. Nutritionally, all I ate the entire time was my homemade gels. I had 4 of them, and I ate all 4. And those were each 5-ounce gels, so that's all I had. I didn't eat any of my other stuff I took. I drank all the Tailwind I had. I drank lots of water. I only peed once the entire course, which is not great, and it was on Chimney Top. So it was probably, over 9 hours into the race the first time I peed, and it was pretty dark, but it wasn't dangerous dark, so I was okay, I guess. So here is the bib. I was number 17. And what's cool is, depending on how many finishes you had prior, your bib would spell out either like no finish if you didn't have one before, or 1 or 2. Mine says 1 finish, because I have 1 prior finish. It's on the wall over that way. You can't see it right now. And then I got my Croix de Bark, and it has the star symbolizing I've had 1 other finish, so 2 finishes. Super proud of that. This was a tough course, probably the toughest course they've ever done, because they've never done 2 Rat Jaws in one BFC before. Mileage wise, I plotted the course based off the map. just as when I was curious, and it was a 50K. I was surprised. It was like 31.2 to 31.5 miles. Last year was 36, almost 36 miles, so this was definitely shorter. And this year actually had less elevation, but it was still a tougher course in my opinion, and I think everybody that ran it thinks this was the toughest year because of the 2 rat jaw ascents. That just is, it's so brutal. I mean, it's nothing you can really imagine or describe until you do it and experience it and see what it takes. It's brutal is all I can say. Yeah, take my word for it. Take my legs and my scars and all that. So after the finish, I just kind of hung out in the finish area, socially distanced as much as we could, and cheered on some other runners and tried to recover a little bit. They had the Morgan County Cattlemen's Association there cooking ribeye burgers, which I had those last year because I wasn't plant-based, and they were so good. And they actually had a veggie burger, so I was super surprised. It was a black bean burger, so I had that. And then just went and hung out with some friends, and we cheered on other runners, and we stayed for the golden hour watching everybody come in that last hour. And there was actually one runner who finished with, I think it was 45 seconds left. It was crazy. Everybody was standing up just screaming and cheering him on, and it was awesome seeing that. But that's it. The race is done. I finished it. I'm proud. I'm happy. It was tougher than I imagined. It always is. Don't know if I'll do it again, but I said that last year. I said I wouldn't do it again, and I did it. So we shall see what the future holds. Certainly one of those races where it kind of gets in your blood, and you want to keep going there and doing it and being part of that group that can achieve it. It's pretty special. Met some great people out there. Talked to so many people on course. Ran with a guy, Kevin. We spent a lot of time together out there. It was awesome. We talked, and he was such a good, strong power hiker. That dude could power hike better than anybody I've seen. He was so fast. He would always pass me on the uphill or get away from me, but then I'd catch him a little bit on the downhill. It was fun. And then ran with Christina and Jesse and Steven. I ran with so many people. It was fun talking with everybody. And I saw so many people too. It was cool. A little weird, but it was kind of cool. They recognized me. They're like, "Oh, you're the guy with the YouTube channel." I was like, yeah, that's me. And it was cool. Yeah, that's it. I know this is long. Thanks for watching. If you stayed for the whole thing, thanks for checking this out. It's just an awesome event. So hopefully one day, if you guys are ultra runners and you like doing hard things, you can experience this to see what it's about. Yeah, thanks for checking it out. If you liked the video, the recap of the Barkley Fall CLassic 2020 50K, give it a thumbs up. I hope, I know a lot of you guys were there, so it was cool seeing you guys. And if you haven't already, just click that subscribe button in the corner, and you'll get more videos from me, more vlogs, gear reviews, trail running videos. If you haven't checked out the Running to Overcome film I put out too, go check that out. I'll put a link for it as well. It's a great video about dealing with anxiety and using running to basically combat that and overcome or deal with anxiety. Anyway, thank you to everybody that has subscribed so far. I really do appreciate it. You guys are just helping my channel grow so much, and we build a little community, and I appreciate it. It's awesome. All right, well, thanks for checking this out, and I'll see you guys later.